Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Blast Them Out Drum Talk. And today we're gonna talk about groove. What is groove actually? This is again from my point of view. Groove can be that sequence of rhythm that it's completely making the people go nuts and making them feel fucking right about the music, or just stop their feet. I don't know, just enjoying the music. As drummers, I know that when you see the audience that they start to move and they start to just to swing along with the music and you in the drums, that means that you made it. That means that you're doing a great job just by playing the right group. And many of my students have been asking me for many years, what is group? What's group? Hey, what's group? What is that? And my straight answer is just like when you can make people move. When it doesn't matter what type of music you're playing actually. Either it's metal, either it's jazz, or it's swing, or it's rock, or it's any type of music. Because I have been playing completely, really different styles of music so far, and for me, one of the biggest accomplishments that I felt that I had is when I was seeing the audience in a musical style that is not mine specifically, like not the one that I grew up. But when I saw them dancing, when I saw them just moving and having fun, that's when I say I made it. They're moving, so they're enjoying it, because you can get that awkward look, like what the hell is that? What the hell is he doing? What's going on here? It can't be that. But when I saw them moving, I say, it's done. Of course, I had to study that specific music and understand and be aware what I was doing, what can I add, from my experience to this style of music, but also focusing on the group. And this is really important, focusing into the group, because once you focus into the group, it means that you are starting to listen to the music and you need to play what the music requires. So that's super important. Always pay attention to the music, and then you're gonna be like, okay, I can go there, I can do this, I can do that, and that's really, really, really important. Now there is some definitions out there. You can just go on the internet and try to type what the hell is groove. But I found a really funny definition of groove, and it's saying it's an unexplainable but ordered sense of something that is sustained and distinctive, regular and attractive way, working to draw the listener in. That's really interesting, because that's kind of what I was saying a few seconds ago. You draw the listener and now it's starting to move. It reacts, and it's kind of a natural reaction, to call it in some way. I've been playing with metal bands. I've been playing with jazz bands, just rock bands. And the important factor there is the groove. And once you lock in a really nice groove, that's what is going to set you apart from other drummers that they don't sound really locked into the groove, or just to say there is no groove at all on that. It always happens. And in one of my experience, I saw that it's the kind of the way that the drummer is hitting, how you hit, what kind of soul, what kind of life you're bringing to that song. I was on the backstage. This was a big festival in Mexico. And I was on the backstage and I was just looking at the drummer. I was about the next drummer to go into the stage with my band. And I was setting up some stuff and I was just there. And this kid was playing. I'm gonna talk about this person, this drummer, again in another video, because this guy was exactly, and I think he's still, I don't know, I don't have any contact with him, but I think he's still what not to do. Seriously, it's a case for another video that person. But in this case, this guy was having an amazing drum set, and an amazing set of cymbals. And to be honest, I wasn't having one of the best set of cymbals at that time. I was just playing with what I was able to get at that moment, because I was too much on the road, always flying from airport to airport. So I was just available to grab whatever it was possible. I was like, okay, so I need a cymbal now. I need a right cymbal. What can I get, that is not gonna bust my bank and stuff like that. I remember during that tour, I broke my double pedal because it just gave up, And how you break a double pedal? Oh my God, that's a good question. But it was done. So this kid was on stage playing with his amazing set, but someone else just approached to me and asked me, why is he sounding so bad? And I was like, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. I'm not putting attention. I'm focusing to warm up and be ready to go on stage because it's gonna be my turn. They're telling me, yeah, he sounds strange. He sounds weird. It's like there is something. He got something missing, including his cymbals. He was telling me, his cymbal sounds weird. And then they look at my cymbals and they were like, dude, these are your cymbals? I'm like, yeah. What's the problem with them? They were like, well, they are not as expensive as those ones over there. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't care, I'm doing what I can right now. I'm too much on the move, so I broke some and they're done and etc. So this is what I was able to get on the road, on the fly, because some other stuff or were too expensive or I needed to order them, so I was like, I don't have the time right now. Anyway, it was my time. I went up, I set up. Worth to mention, this kid was having, if I'm not wrong, at least 12 cymbals on the set. And I was having at that time 4 cymbals in my set. And I was playing a 4-piece set, which was rock tom, floor tom, bass drum, and my snare. That was all because I needed to be go in, go out right away. So when I just walk out of there, the same guys just came to me and told me, how come your cheap cymbals are sounding way better than those expensive cymbals? And just to be precise on that, it's all those cymbals that this guy was having, they were all root cymbals, Paiste roots. And I told this kids, my theory right now here is that he's not really hitting. He's not hitting properly. He's not having a good technique, or I don't know. He's focusing on another stuff. That's my theory. And but when I think about it, and I remember how this person was playing drums in general, he was missing groove, and I think that was the unexplainable subject at that moment that they were not able to communicate to me. And most of all because I was paying attention when you play, how it looks, how it goes, and how it sounds also. Is it making you getting engaged? I don't think so. Is it making you getting go along in it, like getting into the music? Put attention and oh man, is that unexplainable hook, that you can get from a performer, a musician, either is a guitarist, the bass guitar, or the singer, or the drummer, In this case, we're talking about the drums specifically, so we really need to focus and know how we are playing, how we are executing it, and how is our sound, And of course, your drum set, it's part of that sound, but your drum set also reflects your experience and why you're choosing this cymbal, why you're choosing that drum, that snare drum, or why you tune your bass drum like that, And that plays a role in your sound, but also how you are executing, how you are playing, So if you have a solid sound, for sure that's going to drive the attention. But also that drives me to another subject in the group, and that means confidence. When you're confident in what you are playing, there is 0 to 0% that you're going to make a mistake while you're playing. But the minute that you realize that you're playing great, that you're sounding great, and you're thinking about it, that's when that can be a dangerous moment during your performance. Then you're going to start to get distracted from your groove, and that's when you're like, okay, what I'm doing is sounding awesome. Wow, how am I doing this? Just go back, don't think about it, listen to the music, and go back into the pocket, because only takes to us drummers one beat to go off, to just sink the ship. And just remember that we are the commanders, we are the captains of the ship, when we are driving the pocket, when we are driving the groove. So just remember, your sound, it's part of it. So start to ask yourself, am I having this? How can I get that sound? Even if you don't have the budget to get a $700 or a $1,000, a $2,000 snare, just try to find a way, or try to find pieces that are affordable and they are going to help you to get the sound that you want. And also talking about drumsticks, some drumsticks can give you a really great sound, and how they affect also your performance. If they are too small, what kind of groove, if they are too heavy, or if they are synthetic, Now, always pay attention to the music. Also for us drummers, it's important to study music theory. So that's gonna help us to communicate way better with producers, with musicians. So you're gonna be able to know when you're doing a session what these musicians want. Maybe they have a groove that a rhythm that they have already, that they imagine. Maybe they can give you like a sample from Easy Drummer. Hey dude, I did this and I want something like that. Yeah, but that's when you make the offers of different types of grooves that you can bring to this recording or to this session. Also, to start to develop or to understand how to go into the groove, don't be afraid to practice with metronome. And I'm not saying that metronome it's like the final solution. It's gonna give you a better idea of where are you standing in talking about the time signature. So once you start to work with the metronome, that's when you can start to play a little bit behind the kit or on top of the beat, just to play around the beat, play around the click. Because if you're working with a producer, maybe this guy is gonna start to tell you, try to make it sound more human, try to make it sound more musical. Always music which is recorded with click is not that much musical per se, and It's like if we compare it to a heartbeat. Our heartbeat, it's always moving. So this is natural. So let's keep the music natural. Even me, when I'm working with a producer like 2 years ago that I did the recording sessions for the album of my band, we did it with a click, but I was trying to work around the beat, work around the click. So try to make it to sound as human as possible, even if in the end at the studio they just kind of quantize the stuff and put it a little bit back again on the click. But live, in a live performance, I'm using a click track, but I am trying to keep it human. And personally, that's one of the compliments that I receive from the people that goes to see our shows, because most of all these people are kind of loyal fans, and they've been telling me, dude, we can hear the difference between you and the last drummer that they had, because that guy was literally kind of a machine, and he was sounding like a typewriter, every time that he was playing a double bass. And so when I step in, because I have this group approach, people started to tell me since day one, this is sounding human now. This sounds really cool. And what is the thing with that is that people identify the beat. People get into the group. People get locked in the group. So they start to move. They want to bang. They want to, okay, that sounds cool. It's not like the classic heavy metal, death metal headbanger that is just like moving the head, just like that. No, it's really grooving. It's just like when Phil Anselmo or Rex Brown, I don't remember, they say Pantera, we're going into groove metal because we wanted to stay away from the fast part, So again, the groove concept is there. How you're grooving with it, how you're just like moving, it's like, okay, you're feeling the motion of the music internally. And as I said, when you're working with the click track and then you've been just working with it, you're gonna find different ways to play around the beat, to play around the click, and that's going to help you a lot. And also getting into music theory is going to help you a lot when you're going to be on the studio and you're trying to do arrangements, or you're trying to go to specific parts of the song. And also it helps you too to kind of identify when you're playing and you're listening to the music, and then okay, so we're going to this part of the song. That helps a lot, and that helped me through my career as a hire gun, because most of all the time I receive a phone call and they are just like, hey, are you available? And I'm like, yeah, I'm available. Okay, so yeah, but what kind of music you're playing? What are we gonna do? What's the plan? Maybe I can do my charts, or it depends, Recently I had a call from a musician, a singer, that he likes to improvise, and that's something that I love, because I'm just listening to the music and I'll go and play exactly what the music requires. So that's when you just kind of lock in the groove, and you can see the people's reaction. They enjoy it and they are like, wow. I don't know how many times we've been asked into projects like that, for how long you've been playing together. And it's like, dude, it's literally the first time that we played together. This is the human and the musical magic happening. But also, just remember, always pay attention to the music, and then you're gonna be able to groove with the music. So, one of my favorite examples of groove is Steve Jordan. He's an amazing drummer, and he has a huge groove. It's just incredible. Check him out. He's playing right now with the Rolling Stones, filling in for the great Charlie Watts, which is another outstanding drummer. I mean, Charlie Watts is one of my first drummer influence in my life. So, one concept, which is, even if groove is a kind of an abstract concept because it is, but it's I like to compare it to the mojo, you know, to that mojo on the blues, you know. That's something that it's completely abstract. That's something that is kind of something, a concept that you cannot understand when someone just mentioned it to you, but then you can feel it. In blues music, mojo, you know, that's something that you can't explain, you know, and it's just this feeling, you know, that all those blues hollers were having it. It just made you feel right away, and it goes through you, and you're saying, dude, I get this song, you know, like, wow, I feel this message. That for me, that's the mojo. So I like to compare it to the groove feeling because it's like, wow, I can't understand what's going on, but this is moving me. So it's just this natural and musical instinct going on, you know. And other thing that I think it's really, really, really big part of it is something. It's a concept that I thought about it many years ago when I was giving drum lessons, and one kid asked me, "What is a groove?" And I was like starting to explain, you know, is this kind of things, you know, just like what we're talking here. But then I remember that concept, this concept came to my mind for the first time, and I explained to him the distance between each note, the distance between each stroke that you're giving in the drum set. It's so important because that air space between the notes are making a huge difference in how your rhythm sounds when you're playing it compared to another drummer, compared to another student, you know. So that's when I started to get into that thing, you know, like into the concept of the distance between each note. And I remember that I heard Steve Jordan talking about a notion of distance between quarter notes. So when I heard him talking about that, I was like, wow, this is really kind of the same concept that I have, but I was talking about the silence between notes. And that's when I said, wow, I wasn't that much wrong about it. And it's true. I heard drummers that they are playing, they are doing a good rhythm, and they're having a good groove. But when they do a fill, they just run. And they are doing a crazy feel, and they just run and they just push the tempo. The groove is gone. You know, your tempo is gone. So I'm just looking at them like, wow, what would just happen there? They are rushing because they are overthinking. They are like, how I need to do something amazing here, and boom, you're losing all your time track, you know. And then you're trying to go back, and your musicians are looking at you like, what the hell you're doing, dude? Are you just fall on the drum set or something? But the reality is, this drummer just lost completely his time signature when he was doing a fill. And that's so important too. I hear it many times. Someone is just locking a groove, locking in a rhythm, trying to do a fill, and it's just going to the woods, you know. So that's why you need to internalize your own groove and just go there at home when you're practicing. Just lock into one beat until you feel it comfortable and you feel confident. And then you're gonna start to feel it. Oh my God, this is sounding great. And then try to do a drum fill which is totally filling into your own groove. Now try that with your band and try to stay on that pocket, you know. Always stay on that pocket. One of the songs that I love to tell to my students, listen to this, is Billie Jean. That song has an amazing pocket, and it's just staying there. Same groove, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes. Stay there. And it's so easy to play, and it's so much luck in the pocket. So that's one of the songs that I totally encourage you to get into that, that group, that amazing beat. Another drummer that has an incredible pocket, Steve Gadd. Just listen to Steve Gadd. Is just an incredible group, and it's a big inspiration to find those rhythms. I remember in the album Reptile from Eric Clapton, he's having a really powerful song which is driving, and is Steve Gadd driving with the right cymbal, and it's just this upbeat, really grooving. And I'm like, wow, I never heard that, like from Steve Gadd. But I remember I saw them in concert, and they played this version of Sunshine of Your Love. And since that time, I am playing, every time that I had to play that cover in a bar when I'm doing those gigs, I'm trying to replicate exactly what Steve Gadd did on that version of Sunshine of Your Love. He's really driving with the right cymbal. He's really driving the groove with the bell, and it just sounds powerful. It's that amazing. So if you can find it on YouTube, just find on YouTube Steve Gadd playing Sunshine of Your Love, and you'll hear that kind of a heavy backbeat that he's giving, but he's still on a massive groove on it. So it's just one of the perfect examples, and how that backbeat is there, so you can almost hear the silence between the notes, and that's giving that tasty sound of groove. So that's just my little approach to the group. And on this Blast Them Out Drum Talk, I hope that you enjoy it. It's all about confidence, and it's all about to stay locked in the timestamp, in the group, and find your spot for the grooving, and that's gonna help you to sound amazing, and it's gonna give you that confidence that otherwise, if you're overthinking, you're just going away. So thanks again for listening to this drum talk, and see you around. See you next time with another Blast Them Out Drum Talk.